would you look at that? It's another rainy, disgusting day here. For the last 2 weeks, it has rained 10 of those days, and that means that the snow is not very far away. I'd say we got like a month, and then it's gonna start dumping on us. And then I gotta deal with that for like 5 months. Not excited. But we are back to wrap up a whole bunch more work on this bad boy. I actually had to do a bunch before I even started filming today because I noticed that I forgot to put in the little seals underneath the bearings inside the steering stem, so that was pretty stupid. I had to take the whole front end apart, repress the stem out, press the bearings back on, do the whole thing. It was like a 20-minute fix, but still annoying. That's the type of shit that happens when you're filming videos doing this stuff. You forget things because this right here is very distracting. And then I also rerouted the way that I had the wiring for the starter and kill switch in there. After I watched the video last time, I realized that I routed it kind of stupid and it looked terrible, so fix that. Looks clean now. Now we can move on. So today I'm knocking out the wheels and the final drive on this thing. For the wheels, we're gonna be pulling apart the stock ones and powder coating the hubs, and then adding on some pro wheel rims that you can't really see on camera right now because they're blending in with this bench. We'll be lacing those up with some heavy duty W stainless steel Bulldog spokes, and then wrapping them in some Dunlop MX3S rubber, a new chain guide and chain roller, because believe it or not, this bike does not come with either of those things. Fancy little rim lock nuts, blacked out sprocket guard / case saver thing, this super trick brake arm that is completely unnecessary but looks cool as hell, and our chain and sprocket. The front sprocket's actually already on. I put that on when I built the engine. Rear sprocket's going on today. I'm powder coating that sucker black. And we got ourselves some blingin' ass gold chain. Seriously, every bike I've ever had has had one of these gold chains on it. Remember like the 90s rapper, big fat gold rope chains? Well, this is gold ropes for your bike right here. Oh, and this little brake line guide that's gotta go into the front number plate because the stock one looks absolute ass. We'll fix that with this. So let's start pulling stuff apart and get ready to sandblast. Really not looking forward to that. So happy that this is the last time that I have to sandblast for quite a while. I just ran into my first little bit of a snag. I knew this was going too easily so far. I started lacing the wheel up and noticed that, like, man, these spokes are tight. Like, I cannot physically get the spokes into the holes. Like, something's just not right here. So I went back and made sure I had the right spokes in the right spot because the rear wheel and the front wheel each use 2 sets of spokes each. They're all different. But on this rear wheel, the inner and the outer spokes are so vastly different, it's pretty much impossible to mess them up, but I went and double checked anyways. And of course I had them all right, but then when I pulled the inner spoke out, I was looking at it and I was like, you don't look right to me. So I grabbed one of the stock spokes to put up beside it. Let's see if I can manual focus this whole thing in. Yeah, you see that? The spoke bend is way different between the two. This inner one you're looking at here, this is the stock spoke, and this out one is the W spoke, and as you can tell, it's like a good 10 degrees out. Now, one might think, 10 degrees, that's not really a big deal, but it is, because wheels are super precise, and when you've got 18 of these things all kind of fighting each other, it makes it impossible to shift the wheel around to get spokes in and whatever, and plus, like, the spokes have a weird lateral tension on them, which means that if you force them into those holes and you do actually lace this thing up, those wheels are gonna break real quick. So yeah, W wheels, I don't know if you sent me the wrong spokes or if they're just not bent right, but these are not going back in. So yeah, I'll be putting the stock inner spokes back in this thing and then using the W outers. That seems to be working, but there's really no difference between the two. Like, the thickness is dead on the exact same materials wise. I'm pretty sure they're both stainless. I really don't see a difference between the two anyways. The only real big difference is these fancy spoke nipples they come with, and these are a nice touch over the stock ones. The stock ones are garbage. And I'm pissed because I put like 4 big scratches in my nice new black rims because of that, but we'll Sharpie those out and carry on. Wait. So during that little tangent, I messaged Faster Minis about this because that's where I got all these parts from. Showed them a picture of the 2 spokes side by side and then told them about how the stock spokes laced up just fine and no questions asked, instant refund on those spokes. That is some good service right there. Faster Minis is the tits. Much like the fine folks over at 38 Ride Co who are sponsoring this video today. Personal plug because no one else is sponsoring this channel. I'll sponsor my own channel. Go down to the link in the description, pick something up, help me build more cool stuff. All right, back to work. Those are some laced up wheels. I haven't done a set of these wheels in a long time. Big bike wheels are so much easier, it's ridiculous. Seriously, I probably could have laced and trued a set of big bike wheels and mounted tires to them in the time it took me just to lace these things. Because with these wheels and the spoke pattern that they are, there's a super particular way that you have to place each spoke into the hub before you start lacing it, or else if you flip it over, you'll never get the spokes on the other side, and then you have to start all over again. And I had to start over again like 3 times. And it's also different for each wheel, I might add, just to make it that much more fun. But anyways, these are all laced up and ready to be trued now. I got grossly overconfident in how much I'd be able to get done in like a 2 to 3 hour span here. So it's looking like this is gonna turn into 2 days of filming. So let's go ahead and spin to the next day. So it's not exactly the next day. It's actually been a little over 2 months. There has been an absolute whirlwind of shit going on from then until now. I started and finished that little studio room build, and that was a thing in itself, and then decided that the rest of my house looked like shit compared to that room, so I tore the whole thing apart and renovated the whole thing, which took a very long time to do. And because of those 2 things, the work in the print shop and 38 all backed up like crazy, and new jobs were still coming in, so I was playing catch up for weeks and weeks, just working nonstop. What else happened? Oh yeah, I sold the Dyna, so getting that thing ready to go was another thing, and just a whole bunch of other stuff that just bumped this build down to the bottom of my priority list. But we're back, and this half of the video and anything else moving forward is gonna look entirely different than the first half, because I got new lenses, new camera setup going on, all kinds of other new stuff here. So yeah, I've been busy. We're gonna finish this goddamn thing off already. So we're gonna continue on with the wheels. I trued the wheels off camera because number 1, there's really no way to film that and make it look cool. And number 2, it's kind of a painstaking process to do as it is, and filming it would have just made it 10 times worse and take twice as long. So I knocked that out off camera. Wheels are trued, ready to go. We're gonna wrap those things in some rubber, then get the brakes all put back together, wheels on the bike, get that part buttoned up. Final drive can go on, chain sprockets, all that stuff, and all the other little odds and ends. I'm gonna stop talking now. Let's just do this. That brake arm is so ridiculously overkill and completely unnecessary. I love it. Exactly why I left that one raw aluminum instead of powder coating it, because I wanted to show that off. That's cool. All right, let's get the chain and the last few pieces on this thing. That all went surprisingly smooth for the most part. I didn't even pinch a tube. I haven't put a tire on in quite a while, and I kind of expected to do that, and nailed it. Only one small hiccup. You might have noticed I didn't put the chain guide on because apparently this chain guide isn't even close to the right one to fit on here. Literally nothing about this lines up. Like, I don't know what this is for. It's definitely not for one of these. There's no goddamn way I'm holding up the build for a chain guide. These things don't come with a chain guide stock, so it does not need it. The only reason that I got one was just to kind of make it a little bit cooler looking, so whatever. We're running without one until I can sort that out at a later date. We're continuing on with the build. We're gonna finish this thing off, but we're gonna do that next week. Dick move, right? We're gonna slap the graphics on it, clean everything up, do all the finishing little touches everywhere, and then do the final reveal of this thing. And I can't wait to do that part because it already looks amazing. And I swear it'll be next week. You can hold me to that. Pinky promise. None of this 2-month gap bullshit again. We're gonna finish this thing off and then get this whole build series off my plate so I can move on to other stuff. Speaking of moving on to other stuff, I'm gonna move on to the big ass pizza that I just ordered. So we're gonna wrap this one up right here. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check the links down below in the description. We'll see you again in the next one.